Hi, and welcome to Cenario, your partner in mental wellness. Here on our channel, we share educational, insightful, and science-backed content to help you understand your mental health and take meaningful steps toward a more balanced life. If you're ready to learn, grow, and take control of your wellness journey, let's jump right in.
All right, today we're going to dive into something called the Gottman Method. It's this really powerful, science-backed way to understand and improve our relationships. But before we get into the solutions, we have to start with a pretty startling question. Seriously, just let that sink in for a second. Over 90%. That's a staggering number. And you know what? It's not about how much money you have or how often you argue, or even if you have the same hobbies. According to decades of research, the answer is all about how you fight, and specifically a few really toxic ways we communicate. So, Dr. John Gottman and his team watched thousands of couples, and they pinpointed these destructive patterns. They call them the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. Yeah, I know, it sounds super dramatic, right? But that's because when these 4 things start showing up regularly in a relationship, it's a huge red flag that there's serious trouble on the horizon. Let's break them down. Okay, so the first one, that's criticism. And look, this is totally different from just voicing a complaint. A complaint is about a specific thing, like, hey, I was worried when you were late and you didn't call me. But criticism, that's a direct attack on the person. It sounds like you're so thoughtless, you never think about anyone but yourself. You hear that difference? One is about an action, the other is a shot at their character.
The second horseman is contempt. And honestly, this is the most poisonous one of them all. This is when you communicate with disgust. We're talking sarcasm, eye-rolling, name-calling, just straight-up mockery. Contempt isn't just criticism, it's communicating from a place of superiority. And that's why it is the single greatest predictor that a relationship is going to fail.
And next up, we've got defensiveness. I mean, this is such a common reaction, right? When you feel attacked, you put your walls up. But it's so destructive. Instead of actually hearing what your partner is saying, you might fire back with, well, it's not my fault, it's yours. Or you start making excuses. All defensiveness does is escalate the fight and makes it impossible to actually solve anything.
And that brings us to the final horseman, stonewalling. This is exactly what it sounds like. It's when one partner just completely shuts down. They stop responding, they disengage, maybe they literally get up and leave the room. It's like a wall goes up, and it's a pretty clear signal that communication has just stopped.
Okay, so those are the big problems. It can sound a little bleak, but here's the good news. The Gottman Method is so much more than just pointing out what's wrong. It's a really constructive, research-driven way to build what's right, and the science behind it is just massive.
We're talking about more than 40 years of scientific research. Doctors John and Julie Gottman studied thousands of couples, watching them over long periods of time to figure out what actually makes a relationship work. So this isn't just some nice theory. It's built on a mountain of real-world data. The credibility here is huge. And this right here, this is the heart of it all. The whole method really shifts the focus. It says that a great relationship isn't just about avoiding fights. The real foundation of a strong, happy partnership is a deep, genuine friendship. For a lot of people, that's a total game changer.
Now, to make all these ideas really practical and easy to grasp, the Gottmans came up with this brilliant metaphor, the sound relationship house. I want you to literally picture a house, a blueprint for building a strong, lasting connection, where every single level is built on the one below it.
So let's look at the ground floor. It all starts with building love maps. That's just a cool way of saying you really know your partner's inner world, their dreams, their fears, their passions. Then, on top of that, you share fondness and admiration. You build a habit of appreciating each other. From there, you learn to turn towards your partner's attempts to connect instead of away. And when you do all that, you create a positive perspective, where you start giving each other the benefit of the doubt.
But you know, what holds that whole house up, especially when things get shaky? Well, like any good house, it needs strong walls. And in the Gottman Method, those 2 load-bearing walls are trust and commitment. They provide the safety and the security that lets everything else inside that house really grow and thrive.
Okay, so we've got the theory, we've got the blueprint of the house. But how do you actually pick up a hammer and start building? Well, the Gottman Method is absolutely packed with practical, hands-on tools that couples can start using, like right now.
Remember those 4 horsemen? For every single one, there's a specific antidote. So instead of criticizing, you learn to use I statements to talk about your own feelings. To fight back against contempt, you actively build a culture of respect and appreciation. You counter defensiveness by taking just a little bit of responsibility. And you stop stonewalling by learning to calm yourself down and take a break before you get overwhelmed. It's a super clear roadmap from problem to solution. This slide shows one of the most powerful yet simple concepts in action, turning toward. A bid for connection can be something tiny. Your partner just points at a bird outside the window. Turning toward that bid is engaging. Oh, cool, let me see. Turning away is ignoring it or giving that distracted, while you're looking at your phone. These little tiny moments, they either build your connection up or they slowly erode it, every single day.
So, after hearing all of this, you might be wondering, okay, who is this really for? Is this only for couples who are on the verge of splitting up? And the answer to that is a huge, resounding no. This approach is just incredibly versatile. It's for couples who feel pretty good but want to make their connection even stronger. It's for couples who are stuck in that same old fight again and again. It's for people who need to rebuild trust after it's been broken. And it's also amazing for couples who are just getting started and want to prepare for marriage. You know, the best way to think about it is like getting the oil changed in your car. You don't wait for the engine to completely seize up before you take it in for a checkup, right? The Gottman Method is proactive. It's all about making good relationships great and giving new relationships the strongest possible foundation to build on.
And really, when you boil it all down, the message of the Gottman Method is one of real hope. It's realistic. It knows relationships take work, but it's also incredibly empowering because it gives you a clear, proven toolkit. It basically tells us that with the right skills and a little bit of intention, real positive change is absolutely possible. So as we wrap up this explainer, I'm going to leave you with that question. Think about your own sound relationship house. What level could use a little attention today? Is it building out those love maps, getting to know your partner a little better? Or maybe sharing a bit more fondness and admiration? Or maybe it's just turning toward that next small bid for connection. What's one little thing you can do today?
Thank you for watching Cenario. If this video helped you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. For personalized mental wellness supplements, visit Cenario.com. See you in the next one.